Hey, welcome everybody to yet another session of Beyond the Title, where we speak with exceptional professionals with extraordinary experiences. Now, joining us today is Dimos Papadopoulos, who is the product manager e-commerce at PepsiCo. Welcome, Dimos. How are you doing?
Hey Steve, all good. How about you? Thank you for having me today.
I'm doing very good, my brother. I will ask you before we start off, because
Mhm,
I always wanted to ask you, how do I
mhm.
pronounce your last name?
Well, I mean, considering that 40% of the Greek population has the same surname as me, I would say this is a disgrace. No, I'm kidding. It's Papadopoulos, actually. You said it pretty fine, pretty well. Well done. And it's very popular. Like there's football players, there's musicians, it's all over.
No, it is such a beautiful name, right? And I would go with the Americanized version of the same, which is Papadopoulos. But you say it with that extra uh, stress on the OU after the P, so it's Papadopoulos. No,
Yes, yeah. And in real, let's say, Greek pronunciation, it's Papadopoulos, Delta.
Papadopoulos. I love that. Hey, that is brilliant. Thank you so much for correcting me. And for everyone else watching, guys, if you come across Demos's last name, you have to pronounce it Demos Papadopoulos. Now,
That's important. That's important.
no, it is. It is, and I love that we are becoming local citizens. So it is important to know and also celebrate each other's amazing cultures and names. Demos, how has the last 5 months in the UK been?
Steve, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I could say, it has been amazing and it has been such an easy move, No, it was a hustle. It was quite, a lot of effort to move within the pandemic. What is pretty interesting is actually, I was remembering our last call and I was still in Amsterdam. It was still Christmas,
That's
and I was
right.
telling you I'm about to do something, but I'm gonna let you know soon once it's confirmed. And it's crazy. So yeah, back in March, I moved to London. Pretty much packed all my belongings from Amsterdam and moved across the sea, right? So yeah, it was a lot happening at the same time. Finding a new place to live, to go home, getting through the visa clearance and processes, getting through a new job, and all the the trainings and the education piece that comes from it. So I would say I grew immensely. Like nothing that I've experienced in the past, I would say, although I moved another 3 countries, but that was quite exceptional, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brexit is real. Brexit is real.
Yeah. It's real for everyone out there, who might think, yeah, there is a second chance to the European Union. It's not. It's actually real. Yeah.
So, I imagine,
Mm.
you getting to the UK, you taking on this new role, has all been taking your mind space. But through it all, right, there's got to be this drive that's driving you to, yeah, you know what? I know I'm going through this tough time, but I know I'm going to see the end of the tunnel, and I'm going to go through what I want to do. So, what is your ikigai? What's the reason you jump out of bed every morning?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So essentially, you always know that, when you first move, there's going to be a month of hell, essentially, as I call it.
True.
So you just have to, sort all your admin stuff, and you have to be all day in your laptop and appointments and at phone, to just arrange everything. But then eventually everything settles down. It's like this magical time, that everything falls into place, and then you kind of look back and you're like, why would I even worry so much? Like I don't understand, honestly. And to be fair with you, yeah, my mood boosters are running in the morning and coffee. Like this really gets me going. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's just coffee, but for me, it's like this pure magical moment of happiness, like real pleasure. I'm talking there. So it really gets me going, to wake up in the morning, etc. And I would say, it depends. When it's a working day, of course, it's about, building new experiences, new amazing products, going through, user interactions, which is pretty important to my. But outside of work, I'm all about, I like social causes. So I try to dedicate some of my time on this one. I believe every day is a new day. The more we can do, and take advantage of it, the best, the better, right?
Knock on wood, knock on wood. Let me ask this. You mentioned social causes. What social cause do you support now? Can we ask you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty much anti-discrimination. I stand a lot, behind that agenda. I shouldn't even call it an agenda. I'm all about, we're all equal, and I'm trying to really drive that
Correct.
through actions rather than just empty words, and I'm not even doing it for the cause of beyond the title. I'm really doing it, and I would like to mention it because it's dark ages, dark times we're living in, and it's pretty important to get it heard out there. And also, I'm pretty much into the sustainability agenda, like what we've been seeing, extreme heat and all the floodings in Germany, etc.
True.
It's horrific. Like honestly, there is no real time left for change. Like change should have happened yesterday. And I try, to support as much as possible, either be it volunteering, donating, signing petitions, but I try to follow the news actively, and I'm all about that kind of activities. Essentially, if we don't all contribute and do our part, nothing's going to really happen. And through history, right, we've seen change via massive kind of, voices getting together and proving our righteous causes. So I do believe in that and the strength to the people eventually.
No, rightfully said. And yes, DEI and sustainability are two very important parts of Reshape. Thank you for bringing that up as well. I completely agree. We need to start thinking about not just me, the person, we, the family, but we, the human race, and everything that goes with it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now,
So that's
going
what we do
into
actually, Insider is like a public platform, it's like all over the world essentially, and Reshape is bringing people from all across geographies and different platforms and backgrounds. So that is pretty powerful. I think people are gonna be in for a treat if they follow the agenda.
Thank you so much. And you're speaking as well. You're going to be joining us in a very, very important topic, as well as a very important part of customer experience. Thank you. And now, moving forwards into a slightly lighter, but also more insightful side of Demos. If life were a
Mhm.
movie, what
Yeah.
character do you think you would play?
Huh. Yeah. Let me think. Can I? Is it only a movie, or can it be a series?
It could be a series, it could be a book.
All right. I would say series. So I'm pretty hooked on La Casa de Papel. Do you know it on Netflix?
Which, which one is this
La
again?
Casa de Papel, Money Heist.
Money Heist. I apologize. I've not watched the original version of that. English dubbing, all the way. But Money Heist, yes, I have. Good
No
one,
worries.
actually.
It's, yeah, suddenly mi español took place. But yeah. Yeah, so this series is one of my favorites. A bit dramatic, a bit over the top, one could argue, but I love it. I think it's amazing. So one character I would identify myself with is, yeah, definitely the lead, el profesor, the professor, right? But honestly, there's a lot of aspects to him that I really do admire. Essentially, the main thing, getting through all the adversities and the problems one might face, coming back with plan B, plan C, plan D, whatever, just to make it work, to make the overall grand scheme of things to play a part and eventually work. So I do consider him to be a genius, right? Very strategic. He has like a lot of great, let's say, influence skills. And if you think about it, you can learn a lot from stakeholder management from him,
Correct.
essentially. So I love that. I love those aspects about him. And yeah, I would say that he's definitely one of the favorite characters.
So talking about Casa de Papel,
Hmm.
Money Heist, it's the show itself reminded me of White Collar. If you know it, it's a slightly old one from early 2000, no, late 2000, late 2000. So around 2009, it was there. It's a very fun show if you do get to catch it. It's by Matt Bomer, a very famous actor also, and Tim DeKay. It's the FBI, and it follows the lines of Catch Me If You Can, if you know the movie.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah.
Hmm.
It also talks about, how this guy thinks of elaborate schemes to steal something, or to get his way with something, and how every single time you wouldn't think it would work. Of course, there's the suspense and there's that twist, but then it comes to be and comes to fruition towards the end. I like those kind of movies because it does show you how the human brain thinks, and it's
Mhm.
the closest I think you could come to the actual depiction of how a chessboard moves, or how someone
Mm.
thinks around a chessboard, right? Cool. No, thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that.
definitely, definitely.
I need to catch up with my Money Heist series, uh,
Yeah,
but
hurry as you can. The fifth season is coming soon, so yeah, hurry to catch the previous ones.
no, I definitely will. I definitely will. Now, has Netflix or other shows been a great way for you to de-stress, or kind of, get away from the mental stress that keeps accumulating through the day? Or how do you deal with mental health and mental stress?
Um, this is something that we haven't really been thinking about. I think all of us, pre the pandemic, I'm sure, of course, a lot of people were, into yoga and going into retreats and meditation. There's a reason why those apps are super popular, right? But I think, with before the pandemic, we just went through our hustle every day. We went on with our routine, and then eventually we didn't really think through it. I think it was just like, everyone is doing it, so why would I stray away from it? I'm gonna follow and do the same, right? But yeah, it suddenly became this huge topic, because we were stuck at home essentially. We didn't have any social interactions, and
True.
we were thinking more about it, like, what am I doing? Who am I? And actually, what do I kind of stand for, in this place and time? So I would say Netflix is for sure a great way. Not only Netflix, let's not advertise. It's Amazon Prime, it's Disney Plus, so many different contenders. But yeah, they were great platforms, to unwind, definitely. And I do appreciate that, and how they stepped up during the pandemic, right? But of course, through the power of music and through the power, of learning something new and getting yourself out of the bad events and all the occurrences that are happening at the same time has been definitely a mood booster. And definitely, how could we survive the pandemic without camera and online platforms, to talk and chat with people? That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Like every day, without chatting to my family, without chatting to my friends, or even to colleagues, seeing them face to face, at least through the camera, we couldn't do it. I think without that. Like honestly, I cannot imagine, this happening in a very pre-internet phase, of the web. It would be horrible, honestly. So I would say mental awareness really boosted, rightfully so, through the pandemic, and I hope it continues to play a part. Like many organizations started, shifting, boosting their wellness
Correct.
programs. I really hope they continue that route. Like honestly, this is the proper way. Employees are literally not only a resource. You were talking human beings, right? They are the drivers
Correct.
essentially. And I hope this kind of route continues. Like I do see that you agree with me because you nod, but yeah, I'm pretty sure
Of
it's very
course I do.
important.
No, of course I do. Of course, at the end of it, it's not just resource, as you mentioned. It's human resource, and at the company is nothing without the people who are creating every single kind of experience, whether it is the product, whether it is the experience for the customers, whether it is the experience internally, whether you see a strategic development within the company and the growth of the company. It's all part of that huge experience that the company provides, both internally and externally. And I think companies are waking up to a number of these things, and of course are boosting their existing programs towards it. Thank you for sharing. You mentioned hustle, right? It's a hassle, it's a hustle. The day gets chaotic, especially these days, because you've got to complete a number of things. You've got to support your team members across the globe. You've
Yes.
got your teammates both in India and the US, and you're kind of in the middle. So I'm guessing you're awake for quite some time during the day. uh, what does that mean in terms of you keeping yourself sane and structured? Is there an app? Is there something that you use to help you, yeah, I need to be grounded, but I also need to be very structured in my day?
Hmm. Um, yeah. So, Steve, you're pretty right, right? Thank God I would say that the teams are separated geographically because, in the morning I get to collaborate with the Indian team and in the afternoon with the US teams after they wake up, and they start working. So at least this gives some sort of separation also between the products that I'm working with in the organization. But aside from that, right? In all seriousness, I think the Microsoft more productivity like suite, like all around it, I think it's very very powerful. I know
Okay.
a lot of people, especially when you come from an analytical background, you despise Excel because it has so many limitations. But let's be honest, for quick and dirty, it's pretty decent, and it's understood by many. And the rest of the apps like SharePoint, even analytic solutions, because you can see nowadays via Microsoft, how much time you're spending on meetings, how much time you're spending collaborating. So you know pretty much how your day is structured. And this helps me make some conscious changes, because otherwise, if I
True.
didn't have those tools, then I don't think I would remind myself of many things. Cortana as well is a lovely app
True.
because it reminds you, like 2 days ago, you sent in that email that I'm going to send that later. So then you're like, damn, I forgot about it. Yeah, just nowadays, I think the traditional notepad on the side is, of course, powerful, but it's not going to make the cut completely. You
True.
need some also, more intelligent kind around those repetitive tasks. And one app I would really like to mention, since you mentioned app, right? I would say it's not really about mental, let's say, awareness, but it really helps me organize and structure myself. Is Feedly. I'm not sure if you know it.
I do not know Fiddly yet.
Yeah, so it's this great news and content aggregator. So essentially, you can quickly follow different kind of publications. So, for example, Business Insider, or all the blogs that are interesting to you, and then you add them to your Feedly page, which is your main homepage, and you read content daily or whenever you open the app, which is all the newest articles that popped on that day. So it literally aggregates everything in one specific app, and you don't have to visit all the different, let's say, websites to catch up on content. And I love it
Wow.
because then I can follow like marketing publications or analytics, all those things that might be interesting to me. I think it's a great way, like if you are into cooking, crafts, art, whatever, it's a great way to capture the articles.
Wow. I love this. I'm going to check it out. Fiddly. Fidli.
Feedly.
Feedly. Oh, I knew.
Yeah.
I do know Feedly. I apologize. You know what? I have actually opened up the app once or twice before, or at least the page
Okay.
for the app. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to give it a try today. Thank you.
Give it a try. Give it a try. Even if it's only two publications, you don't have to. You just can have everything on one place, and it's good because it gives you the link to the authoritative, website. So
True.
it links back the traffic, so you can go and read everything in there.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, getting to a very interesting part of this interview with you, Demos. What's that one
Mhm.
unique fact about you that we do not know of yet? It's not on your LinkedIn profile either.
Let me think. Well, there's a lot of things. Be careful what you wish for. No, I'm kidding. Let me think. Unique. Mm. So, oh yeah, there is something actually that is that's personal. So when I was at uni, actually, the first year at uni, I lost 40 kilograms. Actually,
Wow. Was that
so
the stress of uni, or was that
it
because
was,
you? Yeah.
no, I think it was the stress of missing any dish prior. you know, um, no, honestly, I think no, I was definitely overeating, enjoying my life. Literally nobody can blame me. Like Mediterranean cuisine, man, it's the best thing ever created by God. Like honestly, it's so good. Um, and yeah, so I used to weigh a lot, right? And then when I got into university, of course, the stress of the final exams as well. When you're 18, you tend to literally only study, go to school, go to after courses, and then go back, study all night, and you're practically just eating and studying. That's pretty much it. It's 1 year of your life that really drains you, and then you're left, I don't know, you are left a bit overweight, and at least you got into uni. But yeah, it was, let's say, an effort through a year of going back to healthy eating and better habits, of course, and exercise. And yeah, this is something that a lot of people don't know about me, because it's very a thing of the past, like almost 10 years nowadays. But yeah,
But
I
have you
would argue,
continued the healthy eating? Have you continued
yes.
the good habits?
Definitely, yes, Steve.
Congratulations.
So this is how I would put it. Now my life is literally all diet forever, and it will be on diet forever. I will not say diet, like cutting, let's say, getting a calorie deficit necessarily, but literally it's all about, getting the veggies and fruit and avocados all day in. So it's literally about that, and it has to continue. Of course, you can have some cheat meals and stuff like that, but I cannot afford going back, because essentially, my body type, my genetics, they're not, let's say, the best out there, essentially, or my metabolic rate. So for sure, I learned a lot through this experience. And I was also one of the lucky ones, right? Because I didn't have a health problem. Some people really struggle because they cannot lose weight.
Of
For those
course.
people, I
Yeah.
have immense, support, and I really do respect them and appreciate what they're going through. For me, I was one of the lucky ones that I just put on weight because I was eating too much, and then I lost it. And okay, so yeah, happy for it, but definitely I learned a lot through that.
I know exactly what you mean, having turned 40 and seeing your metabolic rate reduce quite a bit. I completely
Yeah.
get that. No, and congratulations on keeping that healthy lifestyle as well.
Yeah, I think that's the major part, right? People do think that exercise is the most important, to change your body. Like literally 2/3 of it is what you're eating, what you're putting in your body to fuel it. And yeah, it's very important. But hang in there, eat your veggies, Steve. Don't worry about age. Like age is a number. Like stick to your veggie routine.
Demos, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much. Stick around, guys. For everyone who's watching us, do catch Demos, but also all of our speakers at Reshape Experience Code. You can see our overlay has changed. It's because we want to get you to pay attention to the content, especially as Demos mentioned, right? Sustainability, customer experience, diversity, equity, and inclusion, leadership is a huge part of the growth of a company. So do pay attention to that. And for everyone watching, do stay tuned for more exciting speakers to come, just as Demos and all of our speakers ahead. Cheers.